Hi, this is Rehan Khan, author of A King's Armour by Hope Road Publishing. I'd just like to spend a couple of minutes reading the opening chapter of the book. Chapter 1, Winter Assassins, January 1592. Leather boot soles marked a trail in the snow behind the three young Janissaries as they raced from the Topkapi Palace towards the Hagia Sophia, the huge mosque in the center of Istanbul. Haunting sounds of organ music urged them onwards. It was the evening of the inaugural performance by the Englishman Thomas Dallam, the composer and organist who had been sent to Istanbul by Elizabeth I in a cross-cultural exchange of goodwill. The venue would be packed with royalty and courtiers and townsfolk, yet tonight it was rumored that assassins were on the loose. They'd been sent to slay the most powerful man in the world, Sultan Murad III, ruler of the Ottoman Empire and its vast lands to the east and the west. The snow was falling thickly as young Will Ride led the charge, his best friends and comrades Ewa and Gurkhan beside him, their weapons drawn. Two guards on the far side of the courtyard challenged them, but recognizing Gurkhan, waved the three of them through. A Konyan from Anatolia to the south, Gurkhan was a fine swordsman with a gift for poetry. His friendly, approachable nature won him many friends. Will glanced at Ewa running beside him. It was so good to see her again too. Ewa was a reminder of those heady days of the past summer when the Ruzgar unit under the command of Mehmed Konyak had been sent on their first mission to retrieve the staff of Moses. This most precious artifact had been audaciously stolen from the emperor's private collection in the Topkapi Palace, and he'd sent their unit, hand-picked warriors, every one of them, on the trail of the thieves. The quest to find and rescue the staff took the unit from Istanbul to Alexandria, then up to Venice, and finally to London. After many dangerous adventures, the team finally located the holy relic and were able to return it to the renewed security of the Topkapi Palace. But the loss of three of their close comrades in the process dulled any jubilation at the success of their mission. "Who told you about the planned assassination, Will?" asked Ewa as they ran. "Lord Burghley, High Treasurer to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth." "How did he know?" Gurkhan asked. "A source inside the operations of the Earl of Rothminster." "I hoped we'd seen the last of him," Ewa and Gurkhan said together. The organ music was getting louder, reverberating off stone walls and into the snowy streets as they pelted down the road. Other than the few soldiers stationed every 50 yards, the route was clear. A solitary royal carriage trundled towards them, and as it passed Will, he could see two figures sitting in the back, deep in conversation. The trio entered the mosque, which had previously been a church constructed by the Emperor Constantine. Beside the imperial entrance was a mosaic of Christ upon a throne, with the Emperor Leo VI kneeling before him. A crowd of people filled the entry. Will glanced to left and right. "Try and get through this lot," he instructed Ewa and Gurkhan. "I'm going upstairs to get a better view. Do nothing until you see my signal. We don't want to make a mistake." He then shot off towards the left, leaping up the steps, 2 by 2 to the upper galleries, thinking to himself that it was a stroke of genius for the Sultan to allow a Christian service to take place here, now, within the Hagia Sophia. By doing this, Murad III had demonstrated his open attitudes towards all the faiths. Will spotted the solemn Grand Vizier Sarhad Farhad Pasha seated with a selection of his ministers in the area below. The rest of the hall was filled with royal guests, along with a sprinkling of officers from the Janissary Corps. Commander Konyak was visible amongst the lower level government officials, and to his rear Will saw Hoja, the court jester and philosopher, sitting cross-legged on a bench, dressed in a colourful robe and a turban with gold and red threads. Hoja was swaying in time to the hypnotic melody. Will smiled. He was a mystery, that one. So, where was the killer? This is Rehan Khan, author of A King's Armour by Hope Road Publishing.